Back to you.
Here we go. The Minnesota Vikings have won the toss, selected to receive Robert Smith from his own 15. And the former Buckeye speedster crosses the 30. And that is where Minnesota offensively will put it in play. Warren Moon is 11th season out of Washington. 17 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Up front, we talked about Stussy, the rookie left guard, going toe-to-toe with Smith, the all-pros McDaniel and Hinton. And in the backfield, Terry Allen, the fourth best rusher in the NFC. Carter and Reed having spectacular years. Andrew Jordan, the tight end. Moon on 1st and 10. And flags come down. The whistles blow. The play is dead. So a penalty on the first play from scrimmage.
For the ball with snap, ball start. Number 89. 5 yards. It's still first down.
Well, Tom, when we talk about this Bills defense, you have to keep mentioning Bruce Smith. 10 sacks this year, and that gives them 8 years with 10 or more sacks. At linebackers, led by Darryl Talley, the two-time Pro Bowler, and the team's leading tackler with 94. The secondary, you have Henry Jones back there, strong safety, 70 tackles and 2 interceptions.
1st and 15, Terry Allen breaks a couple of tackles. He's out to the 42. So a gain of 10. It'll bring up 2nd and a long 5 for Minnesota.
Well, Tom, I would guess coming into this game, they wanted to run the ball more, but they might be enforced to run the ball more as we look at it here. A nice block by McDaniel and Jeff Christie, the center on right, and the linebacker there, but I believe this wind will make them run the ball because it is gusting here, and it might be tough to throw the football today.
2 tight end set. Andrew Jordan and John Jarrett, wearing number 46, a converted offensive guard. Allen trying to break it outside, fights his way for maybe a yard. Mark Maddox, 4th-year backer out of Northern Michigan on the stop.
Tom, I think a key for this Buffalo Bill defense is to do what they did on that play, make the running back run laterally, not allow him to get vertical, because the Vikings do have some pretty big guys on that offensive line that can come off and push it backwards. But with the Bills' quickness, just string it out and then make the play, get a lot of guys around the football.
2nd and 10. And Allen close to midfield. Dragged down at the 49, tripped up by Bruce Smith. Well, we mentioned the wind, certainly a factor here today, Anthony. Anywhere from 15 to 25, 30 miles an hour.
Well, and both these quarterbacks have extremely strong arms. There's no question about it that Warren Moon has a strong arm, Jim Kelly has a strong arm, but as you saw those flags, that will affect the football when it's put up into the air.
It'll be a 3rd and 4. David Palmer, number 22, the rookie out of Alabama, checks in for the first time along with Amp Lee in the backfield. Get close to the first down marker. Number 82, Qadri Ismail. And depending on the spot, it's very close.
Tom, one of the things the Bills will be doing defensively, because Bruce Smith is such a focal point of this defense, they'll be moving him around, try to stun him. Right then, they had him standing up as a linebacker. He went to the opposite side, their left side. He's usually on the right side. He ran a stunt. So he knows, the coaching staff knows, that they will have to account for him. So move him around, try to confuse that Viking offense. Right here you see him. He's standing up over the right guard, and he runs a stunt there with Phil Hansen, comes back around to the outside. Nice job by that Viking offensive line picking that stunt up.
It was good enough for a first down. So they move the chains. Ball spotted at the Buffalo 47. Moon, good protection. Nearly intercepted. Good coverage by Marcus Patton, 5th-year linebacker out of UCLA.
Here we see Chris Carter, and the one thing Chris Carter did, knew the ball was up there for the defense, and right here you see it, Marcus Patton almost intercepts it, but Chris Carter comes across and knocks it down and makes sure that the defense doesn't intercept it. That was a super play by Carter.
Of course, Carter having a spectacular season, 102 receptions, fourth most in NFL history. Back to the ground, Allen. And he's across the 45. Tackle made by Darryl Talley, and we will call his name a great deal today. I know you believe he's one of the more overlooked players on this Buffalo team.
I believe that because I had the opportunity to play against him several times. You know, you talk about a Bruce Smith, Cornelius Bennett, and Shane Conlon when he was here before he went to the Rams. But the guy that was always there, play after play after play, run and pass, was Darryl Talley.
3rd and 7. Need to get down to the 37 for a first down. Lee, the lone setback. And Moon throws to Lee, good enough for the first down. Boy, what a pickup Lee has been, a free agent signee from San Francisco.
And Tom, what makes that happen, as you see, as the Vikings come in right here, they have a tight end, Andrew Jordan, staying in there. They have a full protection there, and that allows Warren Moon to hit Amp Lee. And you'll be seeing a lot of that this afternoon. Well, they'll keep an extra guy in there to give that offensive line some help.
Denny Green, his 3rd year at the Viking helm. 1st and 10, and again Moon to throw. Wide open Carter. Down to the 15. Tackle made by Darryl Talley, the 103rd reception made by Carter this season. Of course, the all-time NFL record set a year ago by Sterling Sharp when he caught 112. 22-yard gain.
Tom, what happens? Sure, you're going to give the rookie help, but sometimes he has to go one-on-one, as he does right here. Maybe a little help there late, but he does a super job getting those hands into Bruce Smith's chest and stopping his charge.
1st and 10 at the Buffalo 15. Moon checking off. And again, he'll throw. Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. Penalty flag on the play from the near side. And then one came down in the backfield. Looked like Cornelius Bennett, the man who batted that Warren Moon pass.
Before the ball is snapped, ball start. Number 73, 5 yards. It's still first down.
Well, we talk about the matchup. Todd Stussy going against Bruce Smith, and this will happen. He knows he has to get out there because of his speed, and right there, Bruce Smith puts a nice move, but it was after Stussy jumped off, and that might not be the first time you see the rookie jumping before the snap.
Back him up 5, 1st and 15 at the Buffalo 20. Allen slipped as he tried to cut back. Phil Hansen touches him down, and another penalty flag on the field.
Well, tell him on the road, when you have a nice drive going like this, you cannot afford to throw in some penalties and start putting you backwards.
Jerry Austin, our referee.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start. On the tight end, 5 yards. It's still first down.
They're going the wrong way. Well, we talked about the importance of this one. Minnesota, you see, tie with Chicago, but due to the tiebreaker, the Vikings have beaten the Bears twice this season. If the season ended today, the Vikings would be Central Division champs. Detroit a winner yesterday. Lions playing extremely well. 1st and 20. Swinging out to Allen. Tripped up. Down to the 19. Thomas Smith on the tackle.
Tom, a lot of times when you have big matchups like we do today with Stussy and Bruce Smith, you have a tendency to overlook other players. We talked to Chris Hinton of the Vikings, their starting right tackle, and I asked him what other players on that defense impress you, and he right away said Phil Hansen, the starting left defensive end, said he's excellent against the run and he's getting better against the pass.
delay to Ampley. Dodges one tackler and slices down to the 12. So it'll be a big third down for Moon and the Vikings. Maddox and Matt Darby on the stop.
It's 3rd and 7.
Well, Tom, they've been running the ball straight at him. Right here, they run a little counter. They bring the right side, 2 big guys, Bernard Daphne and Chris Hinton, to kind of clear that way out. And Ampley does a nice job getting away from Bruce Smith. Nice gain there, but they little misdirection. They've been running right at him. Now let's kind of fake one way and go the other way.
3rd down and 7. Moon to the corner of the end zone, through the hands of Carter, and Thomas Smith on the coverage. So an impressive opening drive, and the best Moon and the Vikings can settle for is a field goal.
Well, we have Chris Carter, as you mentioned, going against Thomas Smith. Makes a nice little outside move and has a step or two on him, but the ball just slightly thrown over his hands. But it all started out by a nice little move to the inside, beating Thomas on the coverage, or Thomas Smith on the coverage.
Reveiz has hit his last 17 field goal tries. This one from 30 yards out. And it is good. So the Vikings march down the field on their first possession and lead here in the opening quarter, 3-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By Heineken, the #1 selling imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough. By Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. And by DirecTV, introducing personalized TV.
A look at City Hall in downtown Buffalo, just down the road, Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, where the Bills kicked off to the Vikings to start it off, and Minnesota down the field, a 3-0 lead.
Big Bruce Smith fan there, not only his jersey, but had a little replica of the big defensive end on his helmet.
Yanel Jourdain finally finds a handle, and he's out to the 29. Boy, Jourdain has been quite a find out of Southern Illinois. Ashley Shepard on the stop. We'll take a break. 3-0 Vikings in the first quarter. Minnesota 3 points on its opening possession, chewing up a little better than 6.5 minutes to keep playing that drive of Warren Moon to Chris Carter, 22-yard gain. Moon hitting on 4 of 6, and Reveiz from 30 yards out. And yes, Elvis is in the arena.
I wonder if our Jerry Glanville left them tickets.
First and 10 for Buffalo. And the reverse to Don Beebe. And he's out across to 35. Jim Kelly, a 4-time Pro Bowler, grew up outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. East Brady High, 4 touchdown passes in the win last week against Miami. Up front, again, Ostrowski making his first NFL start. He's the left guard. And Hall and Davis, the veterans, in the middle. Thomas, the perennial All-Pro. Andre Reed and Don Beebe, the wideouts. Pete Metzelaars, the tight end. Kelly in the flat to Thomas. First down and more. Pushed out at the 45 by Todd Scott.
Well, the Minnesota defense, as we look at them, they have 2 quick guys in the middle, but they have John Randall, who is tied for 3rd in the NFL with 10.5 sacks. They'll have to have 2 guys on him this afternoon. The linebackers led by Jack Del Rio with 158 tackles, and Ed McDaniel with 143 tackles. In the secondary, Anthony Parker has 3 defensive touchdowns for the year.
It has been a big play defense all season for Minnesota up until about the last 4 games. Thomas out to midfield, and he's wrestled down by James Harris.
James Harris made the stop.
Tom, a lot of times what you can do against a quick defense like Minnesota has is you can have the linemen start to push them one way and let the back read it and take it back, because these guys are so quick and they will pursue in a hurry, just as they did on that play. Use their momentum. The offensive linemen, they don't have to blow the guys out. Use their momentum and push them past the hole.
2nd and 6. First carry for Carwell Gardner. And he's pushed back by a host of white jerseys. And the first and medium, Todd Scott, up from his strong safety spot. Well, in the AFC East, a huge win last Sunday night for these Bills. You can never count them out. It may not be the team of 4 straight AFC champions, but they're not going to wave the white flag.
I agree with that. And talking to them, they say, now we really have to do what a lot of teams talk about. They say, take one game at a time. We have to focus today on the Vikings, as we did last week on just the Miami Dolphins, because if we don't, it's over with.
Buffalo got the job done on 3rd down last week. They have a 3rd and 6 here. Kelly from the gun. Complete. First down to the tight end, Metzelar. He's inside the 35. 15-yard gain, and Washington on the tackle.
Well, we'll see coming right here, lower part of your screen, Pete Metzelars. It's almost like having a power forward out there going against the smaller Ed McDaniel. Height-wise, makes a nice catch, takes it upfield, but we'll get into Pete Metzelars and what happened with him last week and what Coach Libby has to say about him.
Quick huddle that time by the Bills. Anthony Parker nearly picked that one off. And as Anthony mentioned a moment ago, Parker this season, 3 touchdowns.
And he'll have a big test today because he will be trying to guard Metzelars some of the time. And, you know, it's funny talking to Coach Levy. He said, you know, maybe he has lost a step, but he really didn't have the speed that it mattered. I mean, he loses a little bit, but really didn't have the speed to start with. So he's still a good guy catching the ball short and taking it upfield is one of the things he said.
Kelly is 2nd and 10. The hand to Thomas. Tried to find some daylight, but none there. And again, it was James Harris who dragged him down.
It's 3rd and 9.
We see right here Thurman Thomas, 930 yards coming into this game, 3.8 a carry. Another super year for that guy.
That's 8th best in the NFL. Boy, what a player Thurman Thomas has been. And of course, Marv Levy has just had unbelievable success as the main man here in Buffalo. 3rd down and 9. Kelly wide open. Touchdown Buffalo. Pete Metzelars, but a flag down on the field.
Well, the Bills are pointing towards the Vikings.
Number 99 of the defense.
Well, you have defensive holding there.
Touchdown.
The touchdown will stand.
35 yards. Kelly to his favorite target, Metzelars.
As we look at down on the line of scrimmage, the Bills, good protection there, giving Kelly plenty of time. Pete Metzelars behind Anthony Parker, as we talked about earlier. He would be assigned to him, and that time you give that one to Metzelars.
For Kelly, his 21st touchdown pass of the season. Steve Christie on for the extra point. Out of the hold of Frank Wright. And it's good. So each team scoring on its first possession. Minnesota, a field goal. Kelly and the Bills, a touchdown.
As we take a look here, Jim Kelly is able to complete this pass to Metzelars because of the guys up front. Basically one-on-one with the 4 defensive linemen. Kent Hull in the middle just checking to see if anybody needs help. On that play, each guy took care of their own man, and Kent Hull just kind of oversaw the whole thing.
Christie boots it away. Robert Smith from his 7. And he's tackled at the 24. Long drives for both teams. And you see the Buffalo scoring punch. 8 plays, 71 yards.
It's funny, I was talking to Pete Metzelars down there before the game, and of course last week he was knocked out when he got hit, a little woozy. I said, how's your head feeling? He goes, not bad for an old guy. And right there, he was feeling fine, especially after making that catch.
Terry Allen, the lone setback, takes a handoff, and there's Darryl Talley. Want to remind you this game presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. 7-3 Buffalo in front here in the opening quarter. Second and 10 for Moon and the Vikings. Trouble. Dumps it off to Allen. Across the 30. A couple of yards shy of the first down before being tackled by Cornelius Bennett. But a good pickup. Moon looked like he was going to get sacked.
There was some pressure. I believe that was Mark Maddox, the linebacker, who put the pressure. But as we see right now, number 73, Todd Stussy, once again, getting some help from Randall McDaniel. Kind of pushes him away, gives Stussy a chance to get his hands on him. That's tough to get through, especially when Stussy has help from an all-pro Randall McDaniel.
Stussy no trip to Hollywood either. He's 6'6", 305 pounds. Third and a yard, Andrew Jordan in motion. The pitch to Allen. What a play by Cornelius Bennett. The 5-time Pro Bowler tripped him up well behind the line of scrimmage, and the Buffalo defense is held.
Tom, a lot of times you see Cornelius Bennett, who weighs 238 pounds, and they'll try to run at him. Is right here, you see at the left side of your screen, super penetration for a 238, 240-pound linebacker who's down, and he disrupts that play in a hurry.
And Bennett, a free agent at the end of this season, along with Darryl Talley. Have to wonder if Buffalo will be able to keep those two under the current cap. Jeff Burris lets it bounce, and not a wise decision. All the way inside the 10 to the 5 before it rolls out of bounds. A rookie mistake from the first-round pick out of Notre Dame. Very much in the playoff hunt again in the AFC. You see the division leaders, Pittsburgh, San Diego, Miami. 3 more teams go in, and Buffalo's right there with Kansas City, Denver, the Raiders, New England, and everybody else.
You know, talking to these guys over the weekend, they really believe they get back into the playoffs. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be shaking their head, and I think will be somewhat scared that these guys are back in that playoff.
After a 64-yard punt. The handoff to Thomas, a little bit of breathing room out to the 10. Well, while we... All right, JB, thank you very much. Certainly Minnesota will be keeping an eye on that one today. Flag on the play. Kelly drilled as he turns it loose, and it's intercepted. Interception by Vincey Glenn out at the 43, but again, a penalty flag down on the field.
Well, Tom, just as he threw that football, as we get the call.
Offsides, number 92, lined up in the neutral zone.
I was going to say, just as he threw that, Henry Thomas and Roy Barker, number 92, hit him, and that shows why Roy Barker got in there so quickly. He was offsides.
So wipe away the interception.
We look at it here. Nice inside swat move. Gardner tries to help out Glenn Parker, but he doesn't, and Roy Barker gets in there and is part of that duo that makes the hit along with Henry Thomas. Nice move, using his quickness, kind of started to come upfield, went inside quickly, used that outside arm to swat him and go inside.
Well, you know, the defensive ends have taken a lot of heat from the media up in Minneapolis. They feel as though Thomas and Randall aren't getting a lot of help.
Well, what you have those two guys inside. A lot of the times are being double teamed. Randall for sure always being double teamed by 2 linemen usually. And what they do, a lot of times either the guard and maybe help from a running back will get Thomas. So you need those 2 defensive ends to put the pressure, get their sack total up, and they've not been doing it.
Henry Thomas, 5 sacks, way down from a year ago. Randall, 10.5 sacks. And early movement again. Thurman Thomas takes it for a couple of yards. Roy Barker on the stop.
Another thing that Henry Thomas was telling us yesterday as we talked to him.
Offsides, number 92. 5 yards, repeat first down.
He talked about how Jim Kelly was going to change the snap count to get these guys off the ball or offsides. And right here you see Roy Barker, number 92, going in a hurry. And he Jim Kelly knows that all these guys want to do is get to the quarterback on a pass. So change it up, make them, they're going to be a little antsy.
Well, Barker's been taken out of the game. Thurman Thomas shuffles his way out to the 30. Jack Del Rio and Vincie Glenn able to stop him there, but Robert Harris, third-year player out of Southern, has replaced Roy Barker at left end.
And here's a great job by a veteran quarterback. Played before, he goes on a long count, staggering the count. Right here, he brings them up to the line of scrimmage, goes on a quick count. He has the Vikings not set, ready to go. Bang, and Thurman Thomas just jumps right through there.
And it was good enough for a first down. Thomas again. Nowhere to run this time. John Randall met him a yard behind the line of scrimmage. John Randall, last season, his first Pro Bowl, and certainly he'll be headed there again this year.
No question about it. If he doesn't head to Honolulu after the season, after the playoffs or whatever, something's wrong. You look at this guy, he's 272 pounds, stands about 6'1". I think they maybe added a couple pounds there to kind of scare those offensive linemen. But extremely quick, and he's going against guys that weigh 310. You have Davis 310, Ostrowski 310. So he has to do a lot of maneuvering, a lot of things in there, not being that big of a guy.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. Buffalo leading Minnesota 7-3. Anthony Munoz on Todd Brenneman in Orchard Park, Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where it's a 7-3 game and a very quick first quarter.
It just flew by, and you have a couple offenses that are moving the ball extremely well. And to my surprise, that are putting it up in the air. They said, heck, the heck with this wind. We're going to put it up.
Yeah, wind anywhere from 15, 25 miles an hour. Let's send it down to a field report with Kevin Frazier.
Hey, Tom, you've seen a couple of guys slip. You've seen Terry Allen fall down a couple of times. Even though they had the field covered, it's still kind of wet. Tommy?
All right, Kevin, we'll be checking in with you throughout the afternoon. Kelly hitting a wide-open Carwell Gardner out of the backfield. Still on his feet. He refuses to go down. And Carlos Jenkins finally able to push him out of bounds. Another Buffalo first down, 20 yards on the gain.
Well, we look at Carwell Gardner. We see coming out right there, lined up as a tight end on this one. He hits him right there quickly, but then he just runs over a couple guys there. Carlos Jenkins needs a little help from Del Rio to bring him down.
Here comes the reverse to Andre Reed. And he is tripped up after a gain of 6. Andre Reed, well, last week he did a little bit of everything. 3 receptions, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, including an 83-yard reception, and completed a pass for 32 yards.
Well, they ran it off this play here. A little reverse as you see him coming across the screen there. Nice little block there by Carwell Gardner. But maybe they're just setting that play up. You know, run the reverse a couple times. All of a sudden you get the defensive backs biting. Stops and throws the football.
On a second down, Thurman Thomas close to the 40. Tripped up by Dwayne Washington. Yeah, I think if they had to do that play again, they would just get rid of the fumble by Reed before the completion to Bill Brooks.
Well, Brooks was sitting there wide open, had to wait, and finally after he made the catch, that gave the defensive man chance to close in on him. But it would have been 6, no question about it, if Reed hadn't fumbled the football.
Third down and a yard. Kenneth Davis will check in for the first time. And an extra lineman up front. That's Gardner. And it's a Buffalo first down.
Tom, I think one of the things we have to look at with this Buffalo offense is how well Jim Kelly's performed with an offensive line that's had a lot of changes there. You know, you look at this being the 5th combination of offensive linemen across the front, and he's, as Coach Levy said, he has done a tremendous job, you know, having that in front of them. And, you know, 2 years ago they had 4 Pro Bowlers. They had House Ballard and Will Wolford, who have gone through free agency, and Jim Richard, who's now down in Atlanta. Now they only have 1 Pro Bowler in Ken Hull.
First and 10, play action. Kelly downfield to the end zone for Reed. Caught it. No, he didn't hang on. He would have been out anyway. Coverage and good coverage by Dwayne Washington. He may have gotten a hand on it. Washington, a rookie. Everybody's going after him.
Well, as we look right here, Andre Reed just going downfield. Dwayne Washington has coverage, and he has him beat. Vincey Glenn coming over, but he kind of hesitates there. And Reed gets behind Washington. I don't understand why Vincey Glenn hesitated there. Maybe somebody else was in that area, but it didn't appear on that. He should have kept dropping back. Completion almost made to Andre Reed.
3rd and 10, and the hand to Thomas. A Buffalo first down. Pushed out by Washington, but a penalty flag close to the line of scrimmage. This may come back.
Holding, number 85 of the offense. 10 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
Well, that's Russell Copeland, the wide receiver that was caught for holding. That's a shame. That was a nice run around that left side. And to have it brought back with holding, you hate to see that. See the offensive lineman going from an up stance, making it appear that it's going to be a pass. But all of a sudden they run a little draw, and you saw it right there on Anthony Parker, number 27, was Russell Copeland being called for that hold. Yeah, that's another changeup, not only with the quarterback and the snap count, but the offensive lineman staying up in a 2-point, making it appear that it's going to be a pass, and giving it on a little draw as they did.
Kelly from the shotgun on a 2nd and 18, and the screen to Kenneth Davis. Down to the 41. It'll bring up 3rd and close to 12 for Kelly and the Bills. Well, the touchdown pass thrown by Jim Kelly to Pete Metzelar's the 200th of Jim Kelly's career. He ranks 18th on the all-time list, and in passing yards, closing in on 30,000.
And not a bad afternoon so far. 5 of 7 for 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Tremendous career.
3rd and 12. Wide open. Buffalo first down reception made by Bill Brooks. How does he get that wide open on 3rd and 12?
Well, not only does he get wide open, as we see Dwayne Washington down, and what allows him to get open like that is the super protection that Jim Kelly's having in front of him, being able to stand back there and throw the football. See Jim right here?
So Buffalo on the move once again, already leading Minnesota here in the 2nd quarter, 7-3.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lexus, maker of the faster and roomier 1995 LS400. By Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. By the Citizen Watch Company. Citizen is how the world tells time.
Get a view of Horseshoe Falls at Niagara Falls, a little closer to the Canadian border and Ontario. Gorgeous country up here.
Well, Tom, as we look at Bill Brooks, the reason he's so wide open is the Vikings are in a zone, and they just give him too much cushion. And he finds the hole right in that zone, makes the catch, and you see Washington and Vincey Glenn coming up and making the tackle.
Thurman Thomas pushing Gardner into a Minnesota defender, takes advantage of that for a couple of yards. Ed McDaniel pushed Thomas out of bounds. You know, it was very interesting to hear. So many people remember the helmet situation regarding Thurman Thomas from the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And, you know, Marv Levy has always been bothered by that rap on Thomas. Some think Thomas didn't have his head in the game, didn't come ready to play. In fact, they lined up for the national anthem. A teammate picked up Thomas's helmet, walked away, put it down somewhere. Thomas had no idea where it was. Kelly, slightly overthrown to the rookie Lonnie Johnson out of Florida State.
You see Jim Kelly's reaction. He knew he had the big tight end wide open. Lonnie Johnson came in last week against the Dolphins, 3 catches for 42 yards right here. All kinds of time for Jim Kelly, lays it right over Carlos Jenkins, but a little too much over the outstretched arms. Boy, he would like to have that one back. You can tell by the reaction he had after that throw.
3rd and 7 for Buffalo. Kelly pressured, nearly intercepted. Carlos Jenkins putting the pressure on Kelly.
Tom, what the Vikings did on that play, they had a little drop back by their defensive lineman, came with the blitz. A lot of teams are doing more of that. They drop the lineman back into a little zone, and they bring the guys off the corner, try to mess up that offense, and you'll see it right here. You'll see Thomas and Harris dropping off, and there comes Jenkins from the outside, putting a hit on Jim Kelly.
Christie, a 41-yard field goal attempt. He's hit on 19 out of 21 this season. He is some kind of kicker. Right down the middle. Steve Christie in his career has connected on better than 80% of his field goal tries. Buffalo leading Minnesota 10-3 in the second quarter. Celebrate the spirit of the season with a Yuletide tradition. Ring in the holidays with the original Simpsons Christmas special. Part of a full hour starting at 8, 7 Central, followed by a brand new Married with Children tonight on Fox. 10-3 Buffalo. There's a good look.
Wow.
Short kick taken by Robert Smith at the 15. And he's out to the 40. Yanel Jourdain finally made the tackle. Well, 2 long drives by Buffalo. That one chewing up nearly 7 minutes on 15 plays.
Well, that's what you have to do, especially with an offense that the Vikings have that can put some points on the board, keep the ball away from them, just as the Bills have done.
Scotty Graham, the lone setback. Moon. Almost intercepted. Cornelius Bennett thought he had his first interception this season.
Not real happy about that because he knew he should have had that one. Fired the football after he realized he dropped that one.
Well, it's been a remarkably resilient Buffalo Bills team. 4 times AFC champions. Can they do it again? Graham, his first carry. Bennett, then Talley. And a host of Bill defenders, a short gain of nearly 3.
Well, you can't go by the fact that Warren Moon is 0-5 here in Buffalo. Of course, the famous playoff game where they had the big lead. Right here you see 0-5, 57% of the passes completed, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, sacked 10 times. Bruce Smith has 6 of those sacks.
4 wideouts into the game on this 3rd and 7. Moon. Wide open, Jake Reed. Still on his feet. I'm sorry, Qadry Ismail. And he's down to the 20. So Qadry Ismail all the way down for a Minnesota first down.
Warren Moon was hit there, got up slowly. It appears that he's hurt a little bit, shaking that wrist around that he's injured before. See right here, Phil Hansen coming around on the stunt. Just as he releases the ball, he takes quite a hit, and Qadry Ismail right here makes the catch. But Warren Moon, especially with this cold weather, that has to be hurting.
36-yard gain by Ismail. Terry Allen leading the way for Scotty Graham, and he's wrestled down by Cornelius Bennett.
Tom, let's watch the end of the play where Warren Moon takes that hit. The Bills run a nice stunt as Bruce Smith takes Chris Hinton to the inside, and he comes off late on Phil Hansen, but takes a tremendous hit. Phil Hansen weighs about 275, 280 pounds, as we see Brad Johnson warming up right there.
Short drop. In and out of the hands of Jake Reed. Boy, he took a hit from Thomas Smith. Smith, a walk-on at the University of North Carolina. Eventually became an all-ACC performer and a first-round pick in '93.
That's coming a long way after walking on in college, and all of a sudden you're a starting defensive back for the Buffalo Bills in the NFL and a #1 pick in the draft. I mean, that's amazing.
3rd and 9. Oh, incomplete, and what a shot delivered by Kurt Scholes. 3rd-year safety out of Eastern Washington on Qadry Ismail. Qadry down on the field. We'll tell you about his condition when we come back. Minnesota, a field goal try upcoming.
Well, here we see the big hit by Kurt Scholes. Coming over the middle is Qadry Ismail right here, trying to make a one-handed catch, wide open, and man, that hurts. We look at it from another angle. He is vulnerable, wide open, coming across the middle. And you know those defensive backs, they love those when those wide receivers come across that middle, because there's really no way when a receiver is concentrated on the football that they can see that coming. They can feel it a little bit, but they're wide open for those tremendous shots. And you see him right here walking off the field.
Claude Reves hit from 30 yards out earlier. This would be his 19th consecutive field goal if he makes it. And he does. 39-yard field goal by Reves. Second quarter, 7:50 left to play. A good one here in Buffalo. Tom Brenneman, Anthony Munoz back at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Buffalo, the home team, in front of Minnesota, 10-6.
Right here you see Tom, 7 plays, 39 yards, and Claude Reves hitting a 38-yard field goal. Again, this wind makes it a little tougher. Not only the kickers kicking the football, passers throwing the football, but these kickers have put it through.
Well, Reves has matched a career high. He hit 19 straight field goals back in the 90-91 season, and he's hit 19 straight after the pair today. Yanel Jourdain from the 12, and he's out to the 31. Well, once again, as we do every week, time for our Aflac trivia question. Gino Marchetti and Lawrence Taylor are 2 of 3 defensive players to win the Associated Press NFL MVP. Can you name the 3rd? You haven't missed very many of these this season, Anthony Munoz.
Well, I'm thinking. I am thinking hard. Well, I need a little help.
Could give you a hint. He played for one of these 2 teams. Thurman Thomas. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Thomas has carried 9 times for 27 yards, and he comes up limping.
I think I faced him a little bit when I first got in the league. It came back to me, you know, after all those years, as we see Thurman Thomas here limping off. Not a good sign. He's been a big part of this offense so far in this game.
Boy, they have a terrific backup, though, don't they, Kenneth Davis?
Excellent backup.
Kelly on a 2nd and 9. Good protection. One-handed catch made by Metzelar. Shy of the first down. A gain of about 6.
Tremendous job by the 6'7", 250-pound tight end out of Wabash. Right here you see him. One hands it, kind of taps it back to himself, says, okay, no big deal. Brings it in. He was sure to bring it in right away because Qadry tried that and paid for it, but he brought it in right away, made the catch.
3rd down and 4. Qadry Reed in motion. Through the hands of Reed, it would have been shy of the first down. So Buffalo will have to punt.
You think maybe Andre Reed heard Jack Del Rio's footsteps coming across that middle?
What do you think?
I'd say probably yes.
So Kelly and the Bills stalled by this Minnesota defense. It's 10-6 Buffalo with 6:29 to play here in the second quarter. Warren Moon will try and give his team a lead. David Palmer, 22. Anthony Parker, 27, waiting on the Chris Moore punt. Returnable. Palmer dives out to the 35. They're saying the ball is down. The crowd will go crazy, but the official immediately made the call. that the ball caused the fumble. Schultz was there to recover it just in case.
On the defense, 12 men on the field. 5 yards, first down, back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, as we look at David Palmer bringing it up right here, he takes a couple extra steps. Definitely he's down as he hits the ground, causes the fumble. But they're saying too many men on the field, and it looks like Buffalo's going to have a first down.
Yep.
Big mistake by that Minnesota Vikings special teams there.
Well, they've had their troubles this season, the Minnesota Vikings special teams. The Chicago Bears returned a punt against them for a touchdown last week. Failed miserably on 4 kickoff coverages. Oh, this could really come back to hurt Minnesota. First and 10, Kelly and the Bills at their own 41. Davis takes a pass for a gain of 4. Let's send it down for an update from Kevin Frazier along the sideline. Kevin.
Quadre Ishmael on that hit he took. He has a little stinger on in his left shoulder. Going to evaluate that at halftime. And then also he hurt his jaw a little bit. That is just sore. But he will be back. And like I said, they'll evaluate the shoulder at halftime. Tom?
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Second down handoff. Again to Kenneth Davis, who's in for Thurman Thomas. Thomas came out 3 plays ago and has not returned to the Buffalo offense. They need him here today.
Well, Thurman Thomas is a super back, but it's nice to have, as you see him right here on the sideline, they're really not attending that ankle. It looks like he's ready to go back in there, try and push it off a little bit, but they don't drop off a whole lot with Kenneth Davis in there. He does a super job when he's playing.
Well, play blown dead. May have taken too much time on a 3rd and 5.
For the ball snap, number 62, 5 yards, ball start, still 3rd down.
Goes against Mike Devlin, 2nd-year lineman out of Iowa.
Mike Devlin in there at the right guard position. John Davis came into this game. He had a pinched nerve last week. He's out of the game right now, and that might be affecting him. You have 2 young guys. We talked about Jerry Ostrowski at left guard, who did a good job against the Dolphins last week, and they were happy with the play of Mike Devlin also, and he's in there right now.
Yeah, in fact, Devlin got the game ball last week. 3rd and 10 for Buffalo. And they hand it off. And nowhere to go against this #1 ranked Minnesota rushing defense. Henry Thomas. And again, a flag, late flag down on the field. Well, we've got a lot of penalties here in this game
Illegal
so far.
use of hands to the face, number 99 of the defense. 5 yards, automatic first down.
Boy, Minnesota just shooting itself in the foot twice on this drive.
Well, Tom, that's James Harris, the right defensive end, the 2nd-year pro out of Temple, and that's one of the guys that's been taking some heat about not getting heat on the quarterback. And right there he goes to the face. He's matched up today with John Fina, the 3rd-year pro out of Arizona, who was their #1 pick and has stepped in when they lost Will Wolford to the Colts.
First and 10. Kenneth Davis trying to cut it back. Jack Del Rio there to bring him down. Well, let's send it back to our Hollywood studio for McDonald's Game Break and James Brown.
All right, Tom, in Tampa Bay, Craig Erickson having himself a fine year at the quarterback spot. Hooks up with Charles Wilson, 71 yards for the score. Tampa Bay trying to win 3 straight for the first time in 12 years. Right now leading the Rams in the 2nd by 10. Back to Tom and Anthony.
How about those Buccaneers?
Well,
and your old coach Sam Weiss. Kenneth Davis taking the pitch. Oh, did he take a lick along with it? James Harris the first man to put a helmet on him.
Tom, with this pursuit that the Viking defense has, Bills have been trying to do a little misdirection, trying to run to the outside. You have to be able to seal that offside off when you have guys that have speed like James Harris does, because those guys are just going to run right down the line of scrimmage and catch those plays from behind.
3rd down and 9. Bill Brooks checks in as a third wideout. Kelly from the shotgun. Good protection. Now he's in trouble and is ruled in the grasp. The sack to James Harris, his 3rd this season.
Well, just as we talk about him not getting to the quarterback, he comes up with the big sack. You see him right here on the end going against John Fina once again. He comes off the ball right here, gives him a swat. Not bad, but he gets him on the inside spin move. When he feels Fina starting to push to the outside, he comes back, reverses his field, and that's what gives him the sack.
Chris Moore having a good season. And David Palmer waiting back at his 25. The punt sends him to the 17. Broke a tackle. And he's out to the 28. Sam Rogers, backup linebacker, down on special teams with a tackle.
Tom, right there, David Palmer broke the tackle of a 5-time Pro Bowler, Steve Tasker, who usually goes to Hawaii because of his special teams play, but right there was not able to make that tackle.
And Warren Moon apparently okay. We saw him kind of shaking some pain out of the wrist, which has bothered him all season long, or at least the last 6-7 weeks. See the numbers on Warren Moon. Down the sideline. Overthrows an open Chris Carter. He had Washington beat. Well, we gave you time to think about our Aflac trivia question. Now it's time for the answer. Alan Page back in '71.
No, I think I was a little young for that. I had the wrong Viking lineman in mind. I'm kind of happy. Maybe I didn't have to block the guy.
And of course, he was made an assistant attorney general for the state of Minnesota for 7 years until last year, an associate justice on the Minnesota Supreme Court. 2nd and 10, and Allen able to slice his way up to the 35. A gain of 8. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. Smith on the tackle.
Well, that play was made possible because the Viking offensive linemen were able to push the Bills vertically downfield, and that gave Allen a chance to slice through there. They didn't have to string it out and then read the hole. He just took it right up in there. Good push by the offensive line.
Well, we're down to the 2-minute warning. Warren Moon and the Vikings with the football, trailing Buffalo here in Orchard Park, 10-6. Chris Carter and Jake Reed, a terrific duo, but only one catch between them thus far here today.
Well, of course, Chris Carter needs 11 to break Sterling Sharp's record of 112. Only one time they've been, had catch today. Not only have they not made a lot of catches today, but you have to go back to Warren Moon. We talk about his wrist, but how much is his elbow hurting that last week he burst the burst sack in his right elbow, his throwing elbow burst, and that's got to be painful. I mean, sure, he had 5 days off, but that still has to be painful when he throws the football.
3rd down and 2 for Moon and the Vikings. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half, and Buffalo a 10-6 lead. First down, reception made by Amp Lee out of the backfield. Up next, the drive for the playoffs continues when, except for in Houston, it's the second half of today's doubleheader as the playoff-bound 49ers take on the San Diego Chargers in a battle of division leaders. Don't miss all the exciting NFL action right here on Fox. Boy, we have all the big games here today. Handoff to Amp Lee, trying to get out of bounds. And he does. Gained a couple of yards. Oh no, the clock continuing to roll. Down to 1:40. Surprised Minnesota would run the ball here?
Well, not really. As a defensive player, I'm sure you're looking to rush the passer. This is maybe a way to slow him down a little bit. Then you go to the pass, and one of the things I've noticed the Bills doing in their defensive line, they're running a lot of stunts, trying to get Bruce Smith free, but the Vikings are doing a good job picking him up.
Moon throws high. The intended receiver, the tight end, Andrew Jordan. Good coverage made by number 20, Henry Jones. Want to remind you, coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have all of today's scores and highlights from around the league. Plus, we'll look at another edition of Big Bayous, highlighting the league's most explosive passing plays. That's all coming up next on the Dockers halftime. 3rd and 6 for Minnesota. First down reception made by Reed. He's to the 35. Reed's first catch of the game.
What made that possible is you get help with Bruce Smith. You see right here, Jake Reed coming across, working his way through the zone there, and Warren Moon finds him. First reception today, but as I said, that was made possible by some nice protection, giving Warren Moon a chance to, and right here you see Stussy one-on-one, but then Ampli comes over and helps him out.
21-yard gain, 1st and 10 for Minnesota. At the Buffalo 35. Moon to Carter across the middle. He's to the 20. Clock running down to a minute.
Well, what the Vikings are doing right now, they're finding those seams. There's openings in the zone. The Bills dropping back, and they're completing them.
Minnesota spends a timeout. 1:03 left in the half, and Minnesota knocking on the door. Well, whether you're talking about his days in Houston, going back to the CFL, or now in Minnesota, setting records, nothing new for Warren Moon.
It really isn't. Right here you see 3,943 yards. Tommy Kramer, former record holder. He just Warren Moon just goes right past him. But I'm sure Warren Moon would like to run the ball a little more here.
Yeah, Minnesota has 2 more games after this one. 4 wide out set for the Vikings, and they hand it off. Ampli down to the 15, or down to the 20, I'm sorry, and the clock continues to roll. 53-52 up until halftime.
I think maybe Minnesota's thinking right now is that the Bills have the 3 defensive linemen. If we can get those guys occupied, maybe the back can spring through and maybe make a linebacker miss.
Blitz coming. Moon gets it away. And the pass is caught at the 11 by Carter. And Moon signals for timeout, stopping the clock with 34 seconds left until halftime. So Moon will talk it over with Dennis Green. 10-6 Bills. 10-6 Bills in front, but Minnesota with a chance here, Anthony, to take their, what would be their second lead of the game if they can get a touchdown.
Well, they're putting a nice drive together here, but one of the things they're doing in their advantage is that they're winding the clock down. Regardless of what happens, if they score a touchdown or a field goal, or if they don't come away with any points, they've taken the clock down with only 34 seconds left here before halftime.
Well, a 3rd and 1 coming up for Warren Moon. And now Buffalo spends a timeout. Minnesota coming out in a 3 tight end set. Andrew Jordan, John Jarek, and the 13 here pro, Steve Jordan. And Moon is set. Yet another Vikings passing mark.
Breaking the record of Fran Tarkenton.
Oh.
Record, he's sitting 78. Those things, as you mentioned, they still have 2 more games, so he's going to add and add and add to those records. And I'm sure there's other records that he'll continue to break.
Well, Warren Moon, 7th all-time in NFL history in yards, 6th in completions, 12th in touchdown passes. If you included his days in the Canadian Football League, Warren Moon has thrown for over 59,000 yards, 357 touchdowns, and needless to say, that's far more than any quarterback in professional football history.
Do you know what, Tom? The amazing thing about that, if you were to sit down and talk to Warren Moon and talk about all those records, all those Grey Cup championships, I'm sure he would say the one thing he'd love to have, he'd probably give all those records away if he could play in the Super Bowl. And, you know, hopefully they can continue this drive and get into the playoffs this year.
Been a good drive. Ampli checks in the backfield. 30 yards. Moon a short drop. Threw it behind Ampli. Coverage by Henry Jones. 4th down and a yard. Do you go or do you kick a field goal?
I think right now with these conditions, you have to come away with some points and kick a field goal. Just before halftime, and if Fuad Revez is in there, they're going to kick it. And, you know, they've been able to move the ball, and, you know, they take a chance and don't get the first down. You come away after a nice drive without points, and they are going for the field goal here.
Revez 2 of 2 today. He's hit from 38 yards and 30 yards. He's going for his 20th straight. Made his last 19 and now make it 20. So 3 Revez field goals here in the first half. Buffalo leading Minnesota 10-9, and we have 24 seconds left. Denny Green has to feel pretty good about that.
He really does. You know, things stay the way they are here, going in at halftime, just 1 point down. He has to feel real good about that, especially with some of the mistakes that they've made. As you see, Fuad Revez right here with his 20th straight field goal. A new record, breaking his own that he had in 90-91 with 19 straight.
You know, a lot of people, you hear him talk about, Anthony, a dome team. You know, you hear that quite a bit, and certainly Warren Moon heard it from his days back in Houston. But since Denny Green took over, this Viking club has the 5th best record in the NFL outdoors. So they're not just good at home sweet home, dome sweet dome. They get it done away from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
They really do, and the one thing that he says over and over is just a matter of attitude, knowing that you have to go outdoors and do the job. And the funny thing is, this past week, knowing they were going to be here, sure, they worked indoors, but they left the doors open so some of that cold Minnesota weather could you know, be there while they were getting ready for this.
Well, Denny Green's team, of course, hoping for a playoff spot, and by the tiebreaker, the Vikings are the divisional leaders in the Central, the Niners in Dallas in the West and East. Then you have the Bears, Detroit, Philadelphia. Detroit all of a sudden picking up steam, downing Boomer Esiason and the Jets yesterday. You watch that one right here on Fox.
Well, they're a team that just continues to win when they need to. You know, a lot of teams, or a lot of people will count them out at times, but then they just go somewhere and they win a football game and stay in the race.
Revez boots it away, taken on one hop by Jourdain. And he's tripped out at the 22. Well, what's ahead for these two teams? Boy, for Minnesota, not an easy road.
We just talked about the Lions, who beat the Jets. Then they play the 49ers, who are 11-2. The Buffalo Bills, on the other hand, not an easy schedule, but see New England, 7-6, who's still in the hunt, and the Colts in Indianapolis. You know, I would have to go with the Bills schedule more than the Vikings schedule.
Kelly just takes it down on a knee, and the clock will run out here in the first half from Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. So Denny Green's team getting 3 Fuad Revez field goals, and for Buffalo, a touchdown pass Kelly to Pete Metzelaars, and a field goal by Steve Christie. That's the end of the first half. Buffalo 10, Minnesota 9. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime with JB and Terry after this message from your local Fox station. Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York is Center Conference battle. Buffalo in front of Minnesota 10-9. And our first half highlights brought to you by MCI Proof Positive, the game's only touchdown.
All right, here we see Henry Thomas going one-on-one with John Davis. Nice job clearing that middle open for Jim Kelly as he hits Pete Metzelaars for the touchdown.
Minnesota, meanwhile, had to settle for field goals in the first half.
Well, we have a great shot here by the crew. It takes 3 guys to put one of these balls through the uprights, the center, the holder putting it down, making sure the laces are away from the kicker, and then Fuad Revez making the kick.
Boy, he is having a great year, having hit on 20 straight field goal attempts. Tom Brenneman back with Anthony Munoz. Good half of football. And what do you expect in the second half? First of all, from Minnesota's standpoint, they had to be disappointed, Anthony. They couldn't punch one in the end zone.
Well, 3 times they had a chance, but they end up with 3 field goals. They have to eliminate some mistakes. I mean, they've been moving the ball well, but they have to convert on 3rd down to keep that drive going. I know that a lot of times you can always say that, but that's one of the things they have to do and punch it in.
And some of the halftime numbers, anything that really stands out?
Well, the thing that stands out are the 5 catches by wide receivers by the Vikings and the 1 catch by the Bills right here. Bill Brooks with the only catch for the Buffalo Bills. Andre Reed has been shut out so far in the first half.
Well, let's not forget he was shut out the first half last week against Miami. And they went to the locker room and made, obviously, the decision to get the ball in Reed's hands. He ended up catching 3 passes, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. See, Metzelars, he was the leading receiver for Buffalo a season ago.
He sure was, and you see that Kelly has spread the ball around, but the 2 guys without a catch. Andre Reed and Don Beebe yet to make a reception, but you bring up a great point. Last week against the Dolphins, no catches the first half, comes out and he explodes in the second half.
Buffalo will get the football. Waiting deep, Jourdain, number 30, Russell Copeland, 85, and the ball blown off the tee. Kind of like that old cartoon from Charlie Brown. You probably used to do that to kids around the neighborhood, didn't you, outside of Los Angeles? You know, hold the ball on the tee and then pull it away when they went to kick it.
I think I had that done to me. You know, I'd be ready to wind up and kick it, and all of a sudden the guy would let go of it. Right here you see Fuad Revez, I'm going to boot it. Oh, my goodness. All the guys are running. They're saying, where's the football? It's sitting there off the tee.
We'll try it again. And it stays put. Short kick. Taken by the up man, Gardner. And he's at the 27. Well, let's send it down along the sideline and welcome back Kevin Frazier. Kev.
Tom, talk to Coach Green at halftime. He wants to try and establish the run in the second half. He doesn't want this to turn into a passing contest. If they do have to put the ball up, they want to try and force the Bills into man-to-man coverage. Did I remind you, Tom, also that it's kind of chilly down here?
That's a good look, that hat on you, Kev.
Thanks, Tom.
Very good look. We'll be checking back in with Kevin Frazier throughout the afternoon. Glad to have him with us here today. 1st and 10, Thurman Thomas injured in the first half. Came limping off. Did not return after that, but he begins the second half and gains maybe a yard. And the no huddle for the first time today by the Buffalo offense. A trademark over the last 5 seasons. Underneath to Metzelars, a gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd and a long 5.
Well, one of the things we talked to Coach Levy, and he said we won't start with it. We do have it in our game plan. We'll use it according to what the game dictates. And right here, they come out in the second half with the no huddle.
Well, they gave him a favorable spot, 3rd and 3. Kelly flushed out, throws high and incomplete. He was looking again for Metzelars. Del Rio got a hand on it. And now a flag down on the play late.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 93. 15 yards. First down.
Boy, that defensive line really hurting Minnesota today.
And this isn't the first time that this Viking defensive line has either been called or accused of hitting the quarterback late. Right there you see. Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, that didn't appear to be late to me.
Well, you know, you only get a step. That obviously was not any harmful intent on Randall's part, but you only get a step after the quarterback throws the ball, and clearly Randall took 2.
And going back to some of the other quarterbacks in the league that have played against the Vikings, they've accused them of hitting them late at times. Thomas
on a 1st and 10 out to midfield. Dwayne Washington there to meet him.
Dwayne Washington will make the stop.
One of the guys that, you know, we talked about him earlier, and we talked about him not getting pressure on the quarterback, but as I sit and watch the game, James Harris, that right defensive end for the Vikings, is being very active, and he's around the football quite a bit.
Again, Buffalo, the no huddle. And across the middle, Bill Brooks. Good enough for the first down. A gain of 12. Well, Anthony Munoz, no one knows the no-huddle offense any better than you, a creation of Sam Weish back in the late 80s at Cincinnati. Like to hear your thoughts on that here in a moment. Thomas, a first down carry to the 27.
Well, the interesting thing about the no-huddle offense, as you mentioned, we did run it. And here you have a football team that is running the no-huddle offense that back in 1988, when we were getting ready to play them in the AFC Championship game, they tried to say, hey, the Bengals cannot use it. In fact, the morning of the game in our pregame meal, that's when Sam told us that they're trying to outlaw it. You can't use it, but we used it anyway.
And then Marv Levy took it from there and one step more. Second down and a yard, and Thomas will be shy of the first down, met by Ed McDaniel and Anthony Parker.
And here you have a guy running the Buffalo no-huddle offense, and Jim Kelly, who says, I love the no-huddle offense, and probably because he gets to call his own plays.
So it'll be third down and 1. Bring in an extra offensive lineman, number 62, Mike Devlin. He checks in as an eligible receiver. Straight ahead, Gardner. It's going to be close, very close.
Tom, what you do a lot of times to the defense in the no-huddle offense is you force the defensive linemen to get down in their stance right away. And sometimes they might be in their stance for a while, and it takes a toll on them. Sometimes they might not even be able to get down in their stance, so therefore they can't get off the ball as quickly as they do when they're down.
It is a Buffalo first down. So first and 10 for the Bills. Reverse again to Reed. Pushed out of bounds at the 15. Another Bills first down.
Tom, right here we see Jerry Ostrowski, the reverse to Andre Reed. We talked about his first NFL start. You see the left guard right here pulling back. Little convoy for Andre Reed. A nice block there on Anthony Parker. Finally, Malik Boyd forces him out of bounds, but he showed some pretty good some speed getting around that corner to make that block.
Back to the hurry up. And now Kelly checking off. Kenneth Davis breaks it to the outside. Inside the 10. And Malik Boyd on the tackle. Flag down.
And Tom, you mentioned a Davis.
Number 88 of the offense. 10 yards. Repeat first down.
That calls on Pete Metzelaars, the tight end. You mentioned Kenneth Davis. Back in the lineup is John Davis, back at right guard, who had a spell for a while out of the game. Mike Devlin had taken over for him.
Anthony, what's it like for the regular offensive linemen, the guys who haven't been hurt? You mentioned the 5th different combination used by Marv Levy this season.
Well, it's very difficult because communication is very important. And sometimes not only the verbal communication, but just the stares, the looks you give each other as an offensive line. And when you haven't had a guy in there that long, you might not be on the same page.
First and 20 after the penalty, and Davis takes it to the 19. Anthony Parker wrapped him up. It'll bring up 2nd and 14. Philadelphia on the road at Pittsburgh, a defensive battle there.
That could be a key loss for the Steeler defense. Ron Woodson out with the sprained knee.
Reception made by Andre Reed at the 10, his first catch of the game.
Well, it is his first catch of the game, but he's had the ball in his hands 2 or 3 times with the reverse. I hear Jim Kelly looking to get Andre Reed the football. It's interesting. Right here you see Andre Reed taking it to the inside. Big cushion by Malik Boyd, giving Andre Reed a chance to catch that one.
3rd and 4 for the Bills. Kelly looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo! How in the world did Don Beebe hang on?
Well, first we talk about Andre Reed. No catches, then he makes a catch. We also talked about Don Beebe. No catches right here. Big touchdown catch. Jim Kelly gets nailed after he throws the football right there. Oh, sandwich between Malik Boyd and Vincey Glenn, and holds on to the football. Right here, stopped a little bit, continues to move, catches it, knows he's going to get hit. And no way he's going to let that one go.
Christie adds the extra point. Of course, BB wearing an extra layer on his helmet. He had to miss a game after a concussion. Took a lick there, but hangs on for the touchdown.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, performance, and value are never optional. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, and nachos cross the border. By Coors Light, naturally brewed, reach for the silver bullet, the pure taste of the Rockies. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls.
Welcome back to Buffalo, Our Lady of Victory, completed back in 1926. How about the hit, and listen in on the touchdown by BB. Oh, my. Oh, how in the world does he hang on?
And you notice he has that extra padding on his helmet. Comes in handy on that one.
Whoa, a squib kick. It hit a Minnesota player and then recovered by the Vikings at their own 46. Dave Garnett, number 54, able to wrap it up. So a poor kick gives Minnesota great field position. The Bills lead 17-9.
Sometimes you have to pay a price when you score a touchdown, as Don Beebe did when he caught the football. And right here you see Jim Kelly getting hit by Henry Thomas. But doesn't forget about who it's for. As he says, "I love you, Mom. This one's for you."
Watching back in East Brady, Pennsylvania. 17-9 Buffalo in the third. Vikings start at their own 46. Terry Allen maybe got a couple of yards. Tackle made by Phil Hansen. And the no-huddle offense by Buffalo leads to the touchdown.
Well, that'll do it. 72 yards, 11 plays, 5 minutes and 18 seconds. That's a key stat right there, is the time of possession. A lot of times on the no-huddle, you expect them to score quickly, but right there, they take over 5 minutes to score.
And penalties have killed the Vikings here today. Moon on second. Screen to Terry Allen. A first down. And more. Allen caught from behind to the 20 by Phil Hansen. And a penalty flag on the far side of the field at the 40-yard line after a 32-yard gain. Is it another Minnesota penalty?
Illegal block from behind. Number 86 of the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Tom, and you said it right before that play. Penalties are killing the Vikings. Jake Reed on that one there. They set it up nicely. You see Todd Stussy on Bruce Smith, letting him spin to the outside and then taking him down. Darryl Talley comes on the blitz. But then they have a little combo. Jeff Christie making a nice block there. Randall McDaniel rolling the defensive back. You see Jake Reed pulling back on it. That was the call. I don't know.
Well, an offside penalty earlier on against Roy Barker, then the roughing penalty. Personal foul. You see Minnesota 9 for 60 yards. 2 have kept Buffalo drives alive, leading to 10 points. Boone shakes one tackler down the sideline. Just overthrows Jake Reed. It should have been a touchdown.
Right here you see Bruce Smith, who just about had Warren Moon on that play. You see Jake Reed on Thomas Smith one-on-one. He lets him go, expecting help, but there's nobody there. Well, coming over late is Henry Jones, but he has him wide open. And this is a tough play for Bernard Daphne, the right guard, coming out from the other side and trying to block Bruce Smith, who's coming full speed.
3rd and 5, blitz coming. Move. Hits Reed across the middle. First down to the Buffalo 31. Matt Darby caught him from behind. That's a big 3rd down conversion, an 18-yard pickup.
Excellent 3rd down call. You see him isolated on Thomas Smith. Jake Reed a lot bigger, 6'3", 217. You have the 5'11", 188 Smith. makes the catch, and then he breaks the tackle there, and it takes a couple Bills to bring him down.
Reed and Carter trying to break an NFL record for catches by a duo in a single season. Andrew Jordan lining up in the I formation as the lead back for Terry Allen. Gain of a couple of yards.
Interesting call there, as you mentioned, Andrew Jordan, the fullback, and then they brought in John Garak, a former lineman, has a tight end number now. They lose Adrian Cooper and Brent Novoselsky to injuries, so they re-signed Steve Jordan and they moved John Garak to tight end.
Three tight end set here. 1 second and 7. Moon looks to the corner. Incomplete. Carter, the intended target. Good coverage there by Smith. Well, we talked about Jake Reed and Chris Carter. See where the catch is today, and that brings you up to date. 177 for that duo this year, the all-time record. Haywood Jeffries and Drew Hill with Houston in 91. They passed Jeffries and Curtis Duncan, and of course Warren Moon has hit all those receivers.
A lot of passes.
3rd and 7. The crowd comes alive in Buffalo. They hand it off. Ampli still on his feet and dives close to the 20. It might be good enough for a first down. Yes, it is.
Well, I posed a question to Dennis Green last night about his running back position, and he said Ampli, a key 3rd down player, and right here you see it. Warren Moon goes back, makes it look like a draw. The offensive linemen kind of sit back and take their men where they want to go, and that's enough room for Ampli to go through there. But the key to that play is giving it the appearance that it is a pass and then just willing your man.
On a 1st and 10, Allen tries to break it outside. And he's pushed out of bounds by Matt Darby after a short gain. Right now, they've been a Jekyll and Hyde Green Bay team this season. They have not lost at home all season long. Second and 6. Early movement. Bruce Smith saying a Viking threw him off sides.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Number 73, 5 yards.
He was right.
Still 2nd down.
You said it wouldn't be the first time Todd Stussy jumped early. That was back in the 1st quarter.
Well, especially when you have some noise, and this Buffalo crowd is starting to bring the noise level up. Right here you see Todd Stussy going against Bruce Smith. Not up. I don't know about that. He might have sneezed, if anything, but he didn't move a whole lot. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of movement there. Those officials have great eyes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
2nd and 11. Carter down to the 10. Should be good enough for another Minnesota first down.
And right there, Warren Moon helping out Bruce Smith as he helps him off the ground.
From the 10.
Great shot here. Watching the offensive lineman work, making sure that Warren Moon has enough time, and he hits Chris Carter quickly.
So a first down. Ball just outside the 10. And Allen inside the 5 on a 1st and goal carry. Finally tackled by Matt Darby.
Well, one of the things the Vikings are determined on this drive, they've been playing a lot of 3 tight end formations. You see Terry Allen right here, number 21, the lone back. You start to get the push to the right, but then he sees there's nothing there. Good penetration by the Buffalo defense. A super move to take it backside by Terry Allen.
2nd and goal. Ball at the 3. Bruce Smith. And the 6-time Pro Bowler there to drag down Allen for a 3-yard loss.
Well, Tom, everyone knows that Bruce Smith is a great pass rusher. One of the knocks that he's had is the play against the run. Right there, he just uses his speed as the backside lineman pull. He uses his speed to run that one down. But he is a complete player now. Plays the run just as well as he does the pass now.
Minnesota looking for its first touchdown. 3rd and goal from a 7. Incomplete. Carter was wide open.
I tell you, Warren Moon might have had a chance to pull that one down and run. There was plenty of green in front of him. With his speed, he might have been able to. You see him going back, not bad protection. See right there, McDaniel working on Jeff Wright. Well, Cornelius Bennett is making a move on him.
I think Bennett would have caught him.
Yeah, it looked that way. Right here. Little trick used by defensive linemen. Maybe that'll get the offensive lineman to move with that little jump. I'm sure he's yelling at the same time.
Reves from 25 yards out, and he is 4 of 4 on the afternoon. And Fuad Reves has hit his last 21 field goal attempts. Smith and Buffalo deny a touchdown and still lead.
Tom, it looks like they're ready for the winner. I wonder if Kevin's under there. Kevin Frazier trying to keep warm down there under all those blankets.
Well, that's not him.
No, that's not Kevin. I know he's somewhere trying to keep warm down there.
Well, they love their football here in Buffalo. A 17-12 Bills lead. Going to keep it down on the tee for Reves, who boots it away. Jourdain from the 7. Spins away. Still on his feet. To the 39 before he's tackled by Chris Walsh and Robert Smith. It'll be 1st and 10 Buffalo when we come back. 2:55 left to play in the 3rd.
A little excited about the Bills right there.
Yeah. That didn't look like Kevin Frazier.
We'll find him.
Well, he might have gotten painted up there. Last commercial break. I don't know. You want to look into that. That's a pretty good look.
I'll have to check it out.
1st and 10 for Kelly and the Bills. In trouble. Across the middle, caught by BB, close to the first down. It is a Buffalo first down out to midfield. Buffalo again employing the no-huddle offense. Thurman Thomas finds a seam and gains 7 down to the 43.
Not only knocking Viking defenders down, but knocking the official at the umpire there. Rolled him a few yards. Nice look here. You see the Bills push the Vikings to the left. Thurman Thomas sees that. Sees the hole to the right. Squirts it right up in there.
And John Keck, our umpire, taking the shot. Kelly, a short drop to BB. And Boyd able to hang on to the right ankle, and another Bills first down. Boy, this looks like the Buffalo offense of the last 5 seasons.
It sure does, and they come out the second half after talking about it in the halftime. They say, well, here's the time to come out with this, and they've been successful. They're successful on their first drive, once again on this one.
Back to the ground, Thurman Thomas. Where did he find the hole? To the 25. Carlos Jenkins on the stop.
Tom, the guys up front doing a super job. You have Parker and Devlin, and right there Parker staying with his guy, Devlin staying with his, and then Thurman Thomas, just some good hard running.
Spotted at the 26, gain of 7, and 2nd and 3. Another short drop. Intercepted by Jack Del Rio. He pitches the ball to Malik Boyd, who brings it out to the 27. That's a big play and a desperately needed stop by this Minnesota defense.
Well, Jack Del Rio, that's number 4, his 4th interception of the year. You see him right there dropping back, makes a nice one-handed catch, flips it back to Malik Boyd, says, here, buddy, you get a few yards. Nice play. With the no-huddle offense, right here you see a Gatorade cup the defensive players have to drink on the run. But right here you see Jack Del Rio, who has some baseball in his background. He was the catcher, and right there he shows the soft hands.
1st and 10 for Minnesota. Sideline out to Chris Carter. Pushed out of bounds, a gain of nearly 8. Well, like Jake Reed on one side, Carter a quiet first half. But now he has his 5th reception. Our Budweiser game summary. And you see teams have been knocking on the door, but having to settle for field goals.
Well, you see the 11 drives with 7 scores, but the key stat there are the 4 field goals that the Bills have forced the Vikings to come away with.
17-12 Buffalo. This should be our final play of the 3rd quarter. Allen pushes forward out to the 38. Stop made by Phil Hansen.
Well, a lot of times one of the things you have to do is go to the left. You have great pursuit by Bruce Smith, but right here just put Randall McDaniel, an all-pro himself, one-on-one on Bruce Smith, does a nice job moving him out of that hole there.
So we have reached the end of the 3rd quarter. 15 minutes left to go. Buffalo in front of Minnesota, 17-12. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local Fox station. For Anthony Munoz, I'm Tom Brenneman in Buffalo. It's a 17-12 Bills lead, and the Vikings is a big offensive possession for them.
It really is. They've had 4 field goals. They haven't been able to punch it in the end zone. Right now is the time where they have to get 6 off this drive.
Bruce Smith might have something to say about that. 1st and 12 from their own 39. And they set up the screen to Allen, and that didn't go anywhere. Tackle made by Bruce Smith. Well, let's see if we can find Kevin Frazier somewhere along the sideline. Kev, where are you?
Hey, Tom, last week Darryl Talley broke his finger in 3 places against Miami. Well, he taped it up himself. He said he's going to deal with the pain. Well, obviously the pain's getting to Darryl because now he's taped it up to his pinky. He has his 2 fingers taped together. And, Tom, could you send down a little hot chocolate, please? It's cold down here.
We'll do what we can, my friend.
He's got to move away from all that snow.
2nd and 10. Moon rolling right. Throws to the far side. And the reception is made by Carter. He got the feet down. Good coverage by Washington, but good footwork by Carter.
Well, right here you see the end of the play as Warren Moon throws to Chris Carter. Ball in hand. Well, did a nice job dragging those feet.
Carter, the former Buckeye, who has straightened his life out off the field. It's turned into huge productivity on the field. Allen gains close to 5 to the Buffalo 45 before being stopped by Mark Maddox. Where's Chris Carter today? Trying to add. He came in with 102. He's up to 108. 4 shy of tying Sterling Sharp for the most catches made in an NFL season. Sharp 112 a year ago.
And still has the rest of this game and 2 more weeks.
Allen again. And another Minnesota first down. Terry Allen. He missed the entire 1990 season. Reconstructive surgery to his right knee. Last year missed all season, reconstructing the left knee.
Tom, and let's see why he had a chance to make that run. Right here you see Todd Stussy. I'd have to say he won that one against Bruce Smith. He put him right on the ground, and that's a confidence builder for a rookie because this is a tough battle for him, and anytime you can get a block like that, that helps out.
Steve Jordan in motion. And Moon on first down. Throw. Here comes Smith. And the pass still caught by Carter. First down to the 26. And Moon took a shot from his blind side by the all-pro Smith.
Tom, I'm sure Bruce Smith remembered that play on the run, and he says, I'm going to get around this guy. As you see him right here, just a quick outside move. Todd Stussy had no chance at all, but Warren Moon gets it off. Chris Carter makes the catch. See right here, he gets off a little quicker than Stussy does, slaps his hands out of the way, and that gives him the corner to make that hit on Warren Moon.
1st and 10 at the Buffalo 27. Terry Allen tries to turn the corner, pushed out of bounds by Mickey Washington. They have gained 2. 2nd and long for Minnesota.
Tom, that's a situation where you need those cornerbacks to force the ball. Right there, the offensive line of the Vikings did a good job engaging with the defenders, and really, Mickey Washington was the one guy that had to come up and make the hit, and he did.
We're in the 4th quarter. 11:25 left to go. Buffalo a 17-12 lead. Buffalo showing blitz. Moon backpedals, throws for the corner. Incomplete. He was looking for Chris Carter, and Thomas Smith was on the coverage. Well, the Central Division standings certainly important coming into today's play. Chicago getting shellacked on the road at Green Bay. Packers would go to 7-7. Detroit 8-6. The Bears would fall back to 8-6. And Minnesota trying to go to 9-5.
This is a great opportunity for them to jump up a little bit. But one of the things they need to do that they haven't been able to do here that we've talked about is put this football in the end zone.
And this a huge play. 3rd and 7. And Moon says timeout. Well, I think Warren Moon certainly feels your thoughts echoed a moment ago. He knows his team needs 6.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle Vision at your local Eagle dealer. By Digital. By Panasonic Smooth Operator Wet Dry Erasers. Smoother than you ever thought you'd be. And by Wendy's. After 25 years, quality is still our recipe.
View of the American Falls at Niagara Falls here at Orchard Park. The 12th man very much a factor on this 3rd and 7 for Minnesota. Blitz coming, throw, catch is made by Ismail inside the 5. Buffalo defender said he trapped the ball. But the men in stripes not buying that. Ismail nearly knocked unconscious early in the game. He's returned for a 22-yard pickup.
Well, the biggest one that's saying it was a no catch is Jeff Burris. He's right here. You see Kadri Ismail right there. Looks like it's a catch. He cradles that baby, and it looks like a catch.
1st and goal after the catch by Ismail. McDaniel lines up as a lead blocker. Allen tries to stretch out, but he is denied just shy of the goal line. Henry Jones coming up to meet him along with Thomas Smith.
Well, Tom, you mentioned we have Randall McDaniel, the all-pro guard in the backfield, leading the way. He comes up. Terry Allen takes it back to the inside. McDaniel really didn't lead up through the hole. Mark Maddox makes the hit.
Again, McDaniel. Lead blocker in the eyes. Allen. Touchdown, Minnesota. Terry Allen is 7th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Vikings in the end zone for the first time today. They now have the lead.
And this time, Terry Allen follows the big guy. Right here, once again, you see him, Randall McDaniel, and he's right in his hip pocket. This time he gets the hit on Mark Maddox, and Terry Allen gets in for 6.
And Minnesota leading 18-17 will go for 2. And you see what they've done this season.
3 for 4 on 2-point conversions. This would put them up by a field goal.
Allen the lone setback. Carter Carter in motion. They'll throw. Moon in trouble. And it's incomplete. Pressure applied by number 90, Phil Hansen. Well, they fail on the two-point conversion, but Buffalo surrendering a touchdown to the Vikes for the first time today.
Chris Carter, you look at the right side of your screen, you'll see Chris Carter coming in motion. They have the coverage, but then you can see that the man does not go all the way over with them, but Mickey Washington slides out and gets the coverage on Carter, and Warren Moon cannot hit him. A lot of times that coverage man tries to cover him one-on-one, and he trails the receiver. They've tried that with Carter 2 other times. This time an excellent move by that secondary of the Bills.
And it's Jourdain from the 10. He's out across the 25 to the 27. And that play to Carter, the one that gave Minnesota the lead on that crucial 4th down last week against Chicago. The Bills trail by 1. Want to remind you, coming up next, a clash of powers. San Francisco at San Diego. John Madden and Pat Summerall calling the action. Here in Buffalo, the Bills, after the long Minnesota drive, trail the Vikings 18-17. 12 plays, 74 yards. A key play, the 22-yard pass to Ismail inside the 5. Can Buffalo answer? Thurman Thomas met in the backfield by Anthony Parker. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. See Green Bay pounding Chicago. Philadelphia still blanking Pittsburgh. Blitz coming. Kelly sacked back at the 21. Jack Del Rio getting his 2nd sack of the season.
Not only was Jack Del Rio there, but also Carlos Jenkins was there on the blitz. And you can see Del Rio happy about that one. Let's take a look at it. We'll see right there. You see Carlos Jenkins coming. All of a sudden, Del Rio gets through there untouched and makes the sack.
Kelly from the shotgun on 3rd and 17. It's incomplete. Off the fingertips of Bill Brooks. 3 and out for Buffalo. So after the interception by Del Rio on Buffalo's last drive, which set up Minnesota's score and long drive, 3 and out for Levy and the Bills.
And the Vikings doing a super job, giving them a few different looks, blitzing, mixing things up, getting to Jim Kelly.
Chris Moore back to punt. David Palmer 22. Anthony Parker 27. Waiting. Palmer a fair catch at the 40, so good field position when Minnesota takes over offensively. That's after this commercial timeout. 8:44 to go. The Vikes lead by 1. Here Minnesota in front 18-17, 8:44 left to go. Try to eat up some time. Terry Allen broke a couple of tackles. He's close to midfield. Marcus Patton made the tackle.
Tom, Vikings have had 4 10-play drives. They need another one now as we watch the matchup that's been taking place all afternoon. Todd Stussy, Bruce Smith, a little help there by Randall McDaniel giving him a shove, just enough to open up the hole along that left side of the line.
Boy, our crew has done a great job watching that matchup throughout the day. On a 2nd and 2, Allen, first down and more. He's in Minnesota, or in Buffalo territory to the 45, tripped up by Darryl Talley.
Well, right here we see Bruce Smith getting up slowly. That time he wasn't doubled. He took a hard inside charge on Todd Stussy. He wins that one, gets to the inside, but Terry Allen makes a nice cutback, and you see right there Andrew Jordan falling on Bruce Smith. He's playing with the banged up shoulder. Tests have been taken on that shoulder. They came out negative, but he said it is pretty sore.
Allen, 20 rushes, 74 yards. Here's his 21st carry. And he gains 5 more to the Buffalo 40.
Tom, right now, the Minnesota Vikings are just saying, hey, we're going to line it up. We're going to run right at you. And they're getting a super push along that offensive front.
See the numbers on Terry Allen. He'll leave in favor of Scotty Graham after a gain of 6 at 2nd and 4. Moon to the air. Jake Reed near side. And it appears he has enough for a first down. And right now, for a McDonald's update, let's go to Hollywood and James Brown.
Tom, strange looking sight in Pittsburgh. Look at this, 4 wide receivers with Barry Foster out and Bam Morris hurt. So O'Donnell goes through the air to Andre Hastings' 18-yard strike. Pittsburgh on top of Philly, 7-3, that in the 4th. Back to Buffalo, Tom Brenneman, Anthony Munoz.
Thanks, JB. And with that Steeler defense, 7 points might just be enough to come away with the win.
First and 10, Minnesota. From the Buffalo 35, Scotty Graham, maybe a yard. Henry Jones up from his strong safety spot to tackle him. Of course, Pittsburgh, the team trying to unseed these Buffalo Bills and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. The Bills have cornered the market the last 4 seasons.
Well, not only the Steelers there, but the Cleveland Browns, both teams out of the AFC Central, which had the last team to be represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, in the Cincinnati Bengals back in 1989.
Play fake to Graham. Moon throws downfield, dropped by Andrew Jordan. He had enough for the first down, but couldn't hang on. 3rd and 10 coming up.
Well, nice call there by the Vikings. They've been pounding the ball, successful running right at the Buffalo Bills right here. A little play fake to Terry Allen. Cornelius Bennett cannot recover in time. The ball is right there. The rookie out of West Carolina has to make that catch.
Down while a man in motion. Neither one of them resetting. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So a penalty against Minnesota. They declined the penalty. It was motion. And now the crowd on the 3rd and 10 realizing the biggest play of the game for this Buffalo defense. 3rd and 10. A first down for the Vikings.
And doesn't surprise you who Warren Moon goes to in a crucial situation, but Chris Carter. Unbelievable protection by that offensive line that gave Warren Moon. You see right to the left of your screen, Chris Carter has a step, and he goes after it. He gets the ball. Right here you see the Viking offensive line. Henry Jones tries to come through there, but picked up by Jordan. Nice protection.
8th catch of the day for Carter, 110 on the season. They go back to the ground. Terry Allen gains a couple of yards. Chris Carter, 110 receptions. He is 2 away from tying the NFL single-season mark of Sterling Sharp at 112. 3 away from breaking it.
Well, there's still 4 minutes left here, and they have 10 yards to go. You never know. Warren Moon just might come right back up and hit number 80. See right there, 8 catches for 104 yards.
On a 2nd and 8, Allen met by Smith. He lost a couple. Another 3rd down. A touchdown for Minnesota, and they pretty much put this one on ice.
There's no question as we look at number 78, Bruce Smith right there. Andrew Jordan trying to block him. Maybe a little help from Todd Stussy. Todd Stussy is the tackle. The linebacker was stacked behind Bruce Smith. Should have given him a little more help and then come off. It appeared that he came off just a little too soon, allowing Bruce Smith to get right between that double team.
3rd and 8. Moon dumps it off. Carter close to the first down. He needed to get inside the 2. He stretched out the football to see if he could get there. He appears to be short. For Carter, his 9th catch, his 111th this season.
You see Chris Carter right there. He comes underneath Andrew Jordan. He just sits right there in that opening, gets past Maddox and takes him down.
Tom Brenneman, Anthony Munoz back at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Minnesota in front, 18-17. They appear to be a yard short of the first down. An injured Bill down on the field, Mark Maddox, but he's up and able to walk to the sideline. And it appears as though Minnesota will take the safe bet and kick a field goal.
I'm glad you got Mark Maddox's name out. I couldn't get it out before the break.
That happens.
I tried, but I just couldn't get it out.
They will kick the field goal. Reve's 4 of 4 on the afternoon has hit 21 consecutive field goal tries. And it is good, which gives Minnesota a 21-17 lead. 2:38 to go, so plenty of time for this Buffalo offense.
Well, the last 2 series, the interception by Del Rio, and then all of a sudden this Viking defense has stepped it up, giving them a few different looks, put some pressure on Jim Kelly. Let's see what they have in store for him this series with Tony Dungy leading the way. You know, he has so many different ideas defensively. It's fun to watch a coach like Dungy, and of course you have the Buffalo staff on the other side with Walt Corey and those guys. They do a lot of different things. So we'll see a lot of strategy being played out here.
And you saw Dennis Green walk over and talk to his kickoff team. They were in a spot last week against Chicago after taking a late lead before a long return gave the Bears a chance to kick a tying field goal, sending it into overtime before the Vikings eventually won it 33-27. Coming up at the end of the game, Anthony and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game. Well, Chris Carter, just another marvelous day. He will break Sterling Sharp's record. Not today, as he's one shy, but a man who was waived by Philadelphia. Minnesota brought him on board, and he has been spectacular ever since.
He really has, and it was interesting talking to Kadri Ismail yesterday, and we brought up Chris Carter's name, and he said his rookie year last year with Chris Carter was a little stressful, but this year it's been great.
Jourdain from the 10. And he crosses the 30 to the 32. Tackle made by number 50, Bobby Abrams. So that's where Kelly and the Bills, they've done it so many times before. Can they do it again?
Well, they have 2 minutes and 29 seconds, and they can either go to the regular huddle-up offense or they can go to the no-huddle. They have both of those in, and they also have all 3 timeouts left.
Plus the stop at the 2-minute warning. So in essence, 4 to play with here. Again, the Niners and the Chargers up next from Jack Murphy Stadium. Kelly setting up the screen to Thomas. And he picked up maybe 2. Carlos Jenkins and Henry Thomas there to make the tackle. Clock winding down. 2:15.
And we have it, the no-huddle offense once again as he takes his players right to the line of scrimmage.
They may not get it off. They do at 2:02. Pump fake. Down the middle. Beebe lost his footing, tried to make the catch from his knees, and it went in and out of his hands. So we have reached the 2-minute warning. 1:57 left from Rich Stadium. The Buffalo Bills, trying to stay alive in the AFC playoffs, trail by Halftime 10-9, and then a 17-9 after the touchdown pass to BB in the third. But ever since, Minnesota 12 unanswered points and a 21-17 lead. 1:57 left. The Vikings 21, Buffalo 17, a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, there's a chance for that Viking defensive line to redeem themselves. They know this is a passing situation. They can just get off. And if they ever needed the pressure, here's the time.
Thomas stays in the block. Kelly in trouble. Rolls away from it. Throws downfield to BB. He took a lick by Robert Griffin, who jarred the ball loose. And with 1:48 left, Buffalo now facing a 4th and 8, and they have to go.
Well, Robert Griffin makes a nice play there on Don Beebe. The ball's up there. He's open, but the break by Griffin and going for the ball knocks it down and knocks Don Beebe to the ground.
All right, here we go. 4th and 8. Need to get a hair beyond the 42. Pressure coming. Kelly throws and incomplete. Bill Brooks, the intended receiver. Minnesota takes over on downs. A coverage and good coverage by Malik Boyd.
See James Harris running off the field, excited about the pressure they just put on. You have Roy Barker on one side, James Harris coming around the corner on John Fina. Both of the guys get there right as Jim Kelly throws the football. Really no chance for Jim Kelly to set up and make the throw.
So Buffalo, the 4-time AFC champions, of danger falling back to 500. And for Minnesota, sole possession of first place in the NFC Central. They look to be reeling after 3 consecutive losses. Had a big emotional win last week against Chicago. And then, of course, having to come here today. And it appears as though after a Buffalo timeout with 1:35 left, that the Vikings will be victorious here in enemy country.
Right there, you look at the Viking offensive line that has a chance right now to run this clock out. And what better way to do it than just having Warren Moon turn and give it to his running back.
I want to remind you, today's game was produced by Roy Hamilton, directed by Billy McCoy. The studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorn and David Hill. The associate director, Ray Smalls. Our broadcast associate, Greg Scopatone. Our field technical manager, Mr. Jerry Steinberg. Our spotter, Terry Kane. Our statistician, Dick Bossing. Once again, a job well done. And Terry Allen, 89 yards rushing today for Minnesota.
Super job by Terry Allen, and you have to give a lot of credit to that offensive line.
Allen will add to that. So loses the ball. And Buffalo has recovered. Oh, goodness, what a break. With 1:29 left to go, the Bills get it back. Just when you think they're dead and gone, here they come again.
There was a nice job by that offensive line, blocking right there on Bruce Smith. Christie pushing Jeff right over, and Allen loses the football, recovered by the Bills. Phil Hansen, number 90, who we talked about earlier in the game, right there comes up with the big strip of the football.
And Henry Jones there to fall on top. So here comes Jim Kelly again, taking over at their own 24, 1st and 10. Kelly down he goes to the 20. John Randall getting his 11, well now 11 and a half sacks. Bills still with 2 timeouts left. Clock down to 1:18. Kelly a floater. Nearly intercepted by Jack Del Rio, and Kelly took another shot.
You see him, he's hurting there. Henry Thomas put the hit on him, and it appeared that it was his knee. Did not look good. As we take a look at it right here, Jim Kelly goes back, has to one hand the football in the shotgun. He plants. Oh, the left knee, Henry Thomas. That did not look good. See Henry Thomas going on John Davis. He tries to cut him there, and just as he cuts him, Kelly's following through, throwing the football, and the full impact is right on the knee. Did not look good.
Almost looked like he hyperextended it from that angle there. Kelly still down on the turf. Frank Reich beginning to warm up, 10th year pro out of Maryland. Of course, we showed you earlier he directed in '92. Actually, after the turn of the calendar, '93, that wild card thriller, down 32 points in the third quarter in a victory over Houston.
Tom, not a bad job by John Davis blocking on Henry Thomas. But as he's going down right there, you can see that does not look good at all. That left knee was just hyperextended as Thomas, I mean, it just didn't look good at all.
Well, the medical team out to look over. Jim Kelly, 9th year pro out of Miami, a 4-time Pro Bowler. Today threw his 200th touchdown pass. And Wright continues to get loose. Well, apparently it's going to necessitate the cart being brought out to take Jim Kelly off the field.
Well, you look at Jim Kelly and the fierce competitor he is, and as we were talking to him, as we take another look at it, you talk to Jim Kelly and he basically says, hey, I hate to lose. That's the type of competitor he is, but right here, he's in a lot of pain.
Well, you know, Anthony, it's so easy for people around the country, and you hear it all the time, to take shots at Buffalo, having been, quite frankly, and they'll be the first to admit it, embarrassed in 3 of those Super Bowl losses. The real close one, the first one to the Giants, a heartbreaker even now, but you have to absolutely admire the resiliency of this team and the personnel on this team, never giving up, fighting back to get there time and time again.
As we hear the crowd cheering for Frank Reich to get this team going, and Tom, you mentioned that, and a lot of people knock the Bills for losing 4 Super Bowls, but as a former player, it is so difficult to even get to a Super Bowl, let alone get to 4 straight. And you know, not only does it take a toll physically, you know, they've played so many games in the last 4 years, but a mental toll that it takes. Right after you lose the Super Bowl, I've had experience of playing in 2 Super Bowls, losing 2 Super Bowls, and that next day or the next week, when you start thinking about the upcoming season, you start thinking of ways to get back into the playoffs, get back to a Super Bowl. So mentally it takes a toll too, because you're constantly thinking about it in the offseason.
Jim Kelly headed back to the Bills locker room, and we can only hope that it's nothing serious. So Frank Reich takes over this season. Reich 7 of 12, 62 yards. See the numbers on Kelly today. And here we go. 3rd and 14. Reich fires, caught, out to the 40 by Russell Copeland. Clock at a minute as Buffalo hustles to the line of scrimmage, and Reich calls a play. Bills have 1 timeout remaining. And the screen to Thomas. Tries to get out of bounds. And the clock stops with 43 ticks remaining. And now Thomas is down.
Well, they'll bring Kenneth Davis in to replace Thurman Thomas. And I mean, it's not good that he's down, but to help this offense, he did go out of bounds, so they don't have to worry about stopping the clock. You see the screen with John Davis in front, Henry Thomas from behind, and then Jack Del Rio hitting him. And he gets out of bounds and also tosses the ball out of bounds. Nice move on his part to stop the clock.
42 seconds left. Reich over the middle, caught by Andre Reed. He's trying to get to the sideline. And does! At the Minnesota 42. So Reich on in relief. 35 seconds left. His team down 21-17. The Bills have to get a touchdown.
Tom, I hope nobody left before they got this football back. You see Andre Reed coming, just drifting. He comes across, makes the catch. Now he does a super job avoiding tacklers. There's 1, 2, and getting out of bounds to stop the clock. Nice heads-up move by Andre Reed.
Reich 3 of 3, 34 yards. Can he get him to the end zone? Blitz coming. Throw to Davis. And they did not get out of bounds. Clock still rolling down to 27. And now Reich will spend Buffalo's final timeout. So the Bills out of timeouts. The football at the Minnesota 39-yard line.
It must be nice to have a guy like Frank Reich come in after Kelly went down with the injury. One of the trademarks of Jim Kelly is his patience running this offense. Frank Reich comes in here, cool, calm, sits back there just completing these passes. It appears like he's been in here the whole game.
Well, I don't know how he got that arm loose, as cold as it is, in a short amount of time as he had to do it.
He didn't have very long. He must have been down there close to those heaters. They have those heated benches down there. Maybe that helped keep that arm loose.
So again, 26 seconds left. Minnesota leading Buffalo 21-17. The Bills out of timeouts. The ball at the Viking 39-yard line. Well, you can't throw anything down the middle of the field, can you?
You have no timeouts, only 26 seconds left. No, you can't. Got to work the sidelines.
4 wide out set. And Reich in trouble. Sacked by Henry Thomas. Well, the clock down to 21. Thomas staying on top of Reich for a while, so they stopped the clock, and now they'll start it up again. Back to midfield. Reich being chased again. And it's incomplete. He was looking for Russell Copeland. Now it'll be 4th down and 18 to go. They need a first down to the Minnesota 32.
Tom, and only 8 seconds left.
Just throw it to the end zone. Hail Mary here.
I think you have to go for it, because any type of pass where you're working at the sidelines, it's going to, I mean, you only have 8 seconds. I say you have to go downfield. Hopefully the catch is made and he gets into the end zone.
3 receivers to the far side. And Reich on 4th and 18 just throws it up to the end zone. Broken up by Robert Griffin. And Minnesota has beaten Buffalo here at Rich Stadium 21-17. Our Miller Lite player of the game, Chris Carter. Well, for Anthony Munoz and Kevin Frazier, Tom Brenneman saying so long.